now, we are in northern Canada. Do you notice something alarming? Maybe it's the lack of polar bears. Did you know that future generations might not know what polar bears are because more and more die each year? Polar bears are a vital part of our biome and they need to be saved.
Male polar bears weigh anywhere from 700 to 1,000 pounds and are about 8 to 10 feet long, while female polar bears weigh up to 600 pounds and are 6 to 8 feet long. Polar bears mostly eat ringed and bearded seals and sometimes eat the carcasses of whales. They can live up to 40 years, but usually die at around 15.
Female polar bears reach sexual maturity at about 4 years. Male polar bears reach it at 6 years. Breeding season is between April and May. Females mate about once each 3 years and usually give birth to 2 cubs at a time. The mother polar bear is very protective over her cubs, but only stays with them for about 3 months.
Polar bears are very important because they are at the top of the food chain in the Arctic. Without them, their prey will become overpopulated. Polar bears are also important because they only eat the fat, blubber, and skin of a seal, leaving the rest of the body for other animals to eat. Without them, many animals will die.
The decreasing number of polar bears is alarming and is caused by a number of reasons. Global warming is one cause of the decrease in polar bears. It is causing an unnatural increase in temperatures of the Arctic. Global warming is harming the bears because the weather is threatening the thickness and amount of ice that the polar bears live on. The result of this is drowning homeless polar bears.
Oil spills are also a major threat to polar bears. Oil causes polar bears to lose the insulation in their fur, making it harder for them to stay warm. If the polar bears cannot stay warm, then they will try and get more energy by eating food, which is hard because there has been a decreasing number of seals in the Arctic. Polar bears could also consume the oil while grooming their fur. This would lead to kidney or liver failure. Jesse, who is involved in making the polar bears endangered?
To tell you the truth, we are very involved in harming these Arctic creatures. Factory smoke, burning coal, natural resources, or fossil fuels lead to the pollution of air and global warming. Things like water vapor and the fumes that cars let out make global warming an even bigger problem for the polar bears. The hunting of polar bears has been popular since the 1700s, and they are still hunted today. Polar bears were not protected from hunters until the 1970s, when hunting with helicopters and snowmobiles became illegal. As of now, there are very little restrictions on how and where oil can be drilled. People are taking advantage of this, and they do not care about the safety of animals, in particular the polar bears. Although polar bears are constantly being harmed, they do have some friends. The World Wildlife Fund is one of the few groups that is responsible for saving endangered animals like polar bears. They are aware that global warming has gotten to the point where it is out of their control, so they put their efforts into keeping places like Alaska and Canada for polar bears, not for oil drilling. They have been working to save polar bears for over 20 years. As citizens, we can join organizations like the World Wildlife Fund and help raise awareness of the growing problem for polar bears. The future for polar bears could take a positive turn if we continue to educate people on how polar bears are being treated badly. Hopefully we will start to care more about our environment, stop polar bear hunting and oil drilling in the north. We could be the generation to make a difference.
So please tell your friends and family that our popular furry friend could soon go extinct.
Do something to get involved in saving the polar bears.